Hey folks, it's time for another episode of Three Men and an Anime. Huzzah!
Hey!
Hooray, this is the best show ever. I am not in any way, shape, or form being forced to do this by someone off screen with a gun. Hooray, this show is great.
Well, I'm Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friends and co-hosts, Eric Carlson, who is totally here of his own free will.
There are not a series of bears threatening me to watch this show.
Mm-hmm.
Of
And...
both varieties. It was terrifying. There was a bear.
Damn. And the person who recommended this week's episode, Gav Leaf. How you doing, Gav?
I paid the bears.
Yeah, the
Multi-Bear was in the show, but he couldn't make the time.
Yeah, the bears aren't my fault this time. How else do you think I got Eric to stick his way through?
Hung out.
How else do you think I got Eric to stick his way through Kuroko no Basket? Oh God! So yeah, this week we're covering Gav's most recent selection, "Killing Bites," which is on Amazon Prime. Gav, Gav, why don't you mention why you chose this particular series for this week? For this episode.
I chose it for a number of reasons. One, I was a massive, and I mean underlined, massive fan of the Bloody Raw video game series way back on the PS1.
Sure.
So was I. All right-thinking people were.
Which was basically a bunch of dudes with powers, dudes and dudettes with powers that could then transform into animals and continue fighting with superpowers. Kind of like werewolves, but all kinds of different things.
All kinds of different lycanthropes.
Yeah, and this show is basically that. It's people that can turn into animal hybrids and fight. Simple premise, absolutely fine with it. Away we go. And I got about 4 or 5 episodes into it, and I thought, well, it's a little basic, it's a bit of a slow start, it's kind of plodding, but you know what? I'm going to hold off. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until it's almost my turn to pick a show. And if I calculate it correctly, this show will finish on the last episode will air on the Saturday, and we will then be able to record on the Monday, which is this. It literally finished on the Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
As we're recording this on the Monday. So we are the freshest take on this show.
Well, except for anybody who actually recorded one before us.
Yes, except for them. I'm not going to sit here and say that I looked through the internet for people reviewing this show, because I have my own opinion of it.
Yep.
And on the surface, this seemed like an ideal show for me. Yeah, it's trashy, but it seemed like, it had all the parts of it that should mean myself and people like Eric should have been all in with this show. I knew it was I expected it to be a harder sell to Peter.
It's got sexy lycanthropes fighting each other. I should be all over this.
Yeah, notice the use of the word should.
Should be.
Yeah. And I have watched more than my share of complete trash over the years. I will say honestly, I spent about 2 months watching a bunch of complete garbage ecchi harem shows.
Also, I want to preface this entire review because literally when I posted one of my initial opinions of this on Twitter, I literally had someone saying in DMs on Twitter saying, "Can you tell me your opinion? I'd like to change your mind." No, there is no changing my mind. I have an opinion based on what I've seen.
Yep.
The majority of the opinions I'm getting are, oh, you must not like ecchi, or, the term they use is adult material. What they mean is boobs.
Yes.
They think I don't like boobs. And to that I would say, go back a few months and watch our review of Kill la Kill. Come back and talk to me then.
Dude,
also...
I own a copy of Legend of the Overfiend.
That's adult content.
It's more adult than this was.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of it just like it seems to just be boiling down to but the waifus. It's like, well, no,
There are no
There are no-
waifus. There is
there
no
are
one
no
interesting
waifus here.
enough to be a
There's
waifu.
no personality here. It's just boobs.
Yeah.
But let's dig a little deeper, shall we? Not that this show has much depth. If we dig too deep, we'll probably come out the other side.
You really to dig through the show and get to the other side, you need like a spoon. And not even one of those big ones, just like like a teaspoon.
Peter,
I
please
feel
do
like if
not
we
approach
dig-
anything on this show with a spoon.
Fair point.
I don't see how you can dig through anything two-dimensional. I'm just going to put that right out there.
Jesus.
Unless you've got some sort of weird-ass quantum tunneling device, which I'm pretty sure none of you do. Because otherwise,
I wouldn't
we're
waste
using it to
one on-
teleport
I wouldn't
monkeys into
waste-
people's pants.
I would not
We're
use.
gonna go
I would not
through-
waste a quantum tunneling device on this show. Jesus.
We're going to go through it in final thoughts, but essentially, this is this is a massive potential in the premise.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
as you
why
can
don't we
It's a
tell-
neat idea.
there's some premise and some ideas that are actually kind of interesting in the show, and it does literally nothing with them. The basic premise is someone. Okay, so there was a big tournament series. There's a deathmatch tournament that the various Zaibatsus in Japan have been participating in for a long time. And then someone along the way came up with a genetic modification technology to graft animal attributes onto humans. And then these Tyranthropes, I think is what they're called.
Therianthropes.
Therianthropes, thank you. Started being recruited to fight in this tournament, the Killing Bites tournament, which is a terrible name for the tournament before the Therianthropes start showing up, and is still a stupid name for the tournament afterwards. But I digress. Yeah, and that's the basic sort of background premise. We're introduced in the first episode to
Nomoto.
Yuya Nomoto, who is a university student who has been roped into Jesus fucking Christ. The show starts off with an almost rape scene.
Yeah,
Gang rape.
He's basically been coerced by a bunch of his buddies, or old buddies, to go out and pick up girls, as they refer to it.
By which
Coerced is a strong word.
well, they flat out lie to him. I mean,
Yeah.
And he keeps
Well,
doing it because he has all the willpower of. Honestly, I can't think of anything with less willpower than him.
No.
So,
inanimate
he makes
objects.
zero decisions and has no agency at all in the show.
Basically,
Yeah, the definition of picking up girls for them, however, is quite literal, where they mean pulling up at the side of them and dragging them into the van.
Yeah,
Yep.
they black bag them, and then they do the thing.
yeah, and then they
I'm
proceed to
looking
try
at
to gang rape the
Yep.
girls. While in this case, Nomoto is driving. Now, the girl they pick up in the opening episode here is Hitomi Uzaki, who unfortunately fortunately for everybody involved, honestly,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
fuck these assholes, is a Therianthrope. Specifically, we find out she is a honey badger, which is one of the few things I thought was actually kind of neat about the show. I was not expecting honey badger.
Yeah,
And she kills them, quite dead.
Yes.
Except for Nomoto, who had been making it clear, this is fucked up, I don't want to do anything to do with this, and his friends were basically blackmailing him to keep driving.
it's like
I will admit, it is a cool little scene where you see her like trying to just get out of the grip of all these dudes, and the noises are getting really worrying, and Nomoto is like just driving and turns his head to see her, just this cute, sweet little female face just poking out the curtain, and says, keep driving.
yeah. Don't look back here. Just keep
Yeah,
going.
don't look back here, just keep driving. And
I'll give you
shows you,
instructions.
and it shows you back in the cabin. It's just entrails.
Yeah. So yeah, she...
And I'm sorry, but I applauded at that point.
Oh, as I said, fuck those guys.
Yeah,
Fuck them.
not gonna lie. I liked seeing that. Yeah.
Like, it's self-defense, so yeah, fuck you guys.
Now, another warning for this show. So yes, the show opens with a potential rape scene. Yeah, that's one of 4.
Yep.
Snake dick.
Yeah.
There are 12 episodes in this show.
Yeah.
And there are 4. A third of the episodes of this series have rape in them.
Yeah,
Well,
because
kids.
fuck this show.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, it's not like they're like. I'm not gonna.
It's all implied and everything else, but no, fuck this.
I'm not gonna completely outrule the idea of using rape as a storytelling device. Like there's stuff you can do with it, but it's not treated with any respect here.
You have to go through. There's a lot you have to do for it to make it even remotely acceptable, and they don't do any of that here.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Anyways, so yeah, she directs him to a junkyard where she dumps the bodies, where there are a bunch of bodies, and then she makes him stay there while she gets into a fight with another Therianthrope, Leo.
I'll let you guess what he is.
Yeah, unshockingly, he's a lion.
Hedgehog. He goes fast.
Yeah. No.
I'm honestly really surprised they didn't make a Sonic reference.
Sure, why not?
Do you really think they want to get sued by Sega? This show is under everyone's radar, and that's how they like it.
So yeah, fight happens. She wins, but doesn't kill Leo. Blah blah blah. He gets recruited into effectively being her manager for the Killing Bites thing.
Yeah, apparently one of the things about it is that a Therianthrope to enter this tournament has to have a backer, a financial sponsor. And he gets roped in because Leo says, well, what are you betting for this fight when he goes in with her? And he's like, okay, we'll call it 100 million yen. Okay, what have you got as collateral? The dude's full of organs. And he's like, what?
Yeah, he's young, he's healthy.
Yeah, there's
pretty sure he doesn't have any issues.
Now, again, note, Nomoto does not propose this bet. This is all done without even consulting him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's either that, agree, or they can just kill you right now.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to reiterate, Nomoto has no agency in the show ever.
Not at all.
He makes 0 decisions. Like he's a non-character.
Yeah.
He's barely a framing device.
He's there to deliver some kind of, like, viewer opinion on things, and that's about it.
He's the worst audience insert character I've ever seen, because it assumes that every audience insert character is just terrible.
Yeah, it's the audience insert that literally has no effect on the actual show itself. He's there to spectate.
So yeah,
unlike the audience doesn't have enough agency to just turn it off if he wants to.
Yeah.
The other thing we also start to notice, semi-early, but it doesn't really get proven until the next couple of episodes. But at least in this one, you notice that Hitomi, or Rattle as they refer to her, which is the Japanese word for honey badger, basically. The way that the transformations are all very different, supposedly based on how they were experimented on with the surgery and everything else.
Or their mastery over the abilities.
Or the transformation,
Never made clear at all.
No, but for some reason, all the dudes seem to transform into full werebeasts, whereas the girls, with one exception, while the girls all tend to get fur bikinis.
With one exception.
With, again, one exception. Because, they've got to mix it up.
Actually, 2. But one of them isn't actually even really a character. They're just a background thing.
Gecko Girl, and who's the other one?
The Chameleon Girl in the Chameleon Assassin's
Creed. Oh, right. Because I was giggling over lizard tits. Yes, I remember now.
So yeah, yeah. Oh, actually, there are technically two of the male characters don't go full beast form. Tiger
Yes, you're
and
right.
Gorilla.
And Gorilla.
Oh, right.
I'd forgotten Gorilla for a moment.
Notice we're not hiding any of these characters because there's no point.
Why? They're what characters?
Yeah, there's nothing to. Yeah.
Hitomi is as close to an actual character as the show really gets.
Hitomi should be an amazing character.
I should really like Hitomi. She's tough, no nonsense. She hits things really hard. She's like sweet. I should be all over this girl.
Yeah,
it's a lot of parts with no connective tissue.
None.
Like there's no emotional core to her other than she gets annoyed sometimes. Oh, and she is slavishly devoted to some guy who shows up twice.
He shows up more than that, and he's actually important, but...
He's some guy.
Yeah, Shido, who's the director of the Therianthrope program and Killing Bites, and Hitomi's guardian sort of thing, and she's got...
Yeah, no small amount of hero worship over
No small amount of hero worship for him, and yeah, she'll do basically whatever he says. No, she'll do whatever he says, basically.
Yeah, she proves that she'll do anything he says.
Yeah, at the very end.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a little bit of time at Nomoto's university, where we run into a couple of the other characters. The two that end up teaming up with Hitomi in the Killing Bites tournament, because it's teams of three. Hippo and Rabbit, whose names the rabbit's name's Inaba because I remember that being it's unsurprising.
Yeah.
Right.
And Hippo dude's name, who the Hippo was actually
Hippo is the best character in the show, and he looks like Fat Wolverine.
Yeah. Okajima.
Yeah. But yeah, they meet a few. I mean, some of the. Again, I hasten to use the word characters, but a couple of the side characters in this are painful at best.
Yes.
But it's all just devices, really, to introduce, the team that they form up with. The whole thing, they initially meet Okajima because Hitomi sends Nomoto out to get snacks, and he gets accosted by a woman that flashes him. Because boobs.
Right.
And while he's distracted, turns out she's a porcupine, Therianthrope, and tries to torture him for information on Hitomi. And that's where we get
Hippo
Okajima
comes stomping in, and he's like,
he just comes in
hey.
and just smashes her away.
Yeah, he's like, man, I didn't even need to transform. You're a wuss.
And he moves in with them because, of course, he does.
Well, he wants to request their help to because the Zaibatsu he works for doesn't have a lot of actually combat capable Therianthropes. So Hitomi, who's not affiliated with anyone, would be a big help, and they're able to recruit a third person, which is Inaba, who is.
I have a lot of trouble buying that anything that's an actual fucking Zaibatsu is nearly as much of an underdog or like. With as little money as it's implied these guys have.
Yeah,
they're fucking Zaibatsu. They have all the money.
I'm willing to bet you that they were just they were in reality they were just holding back their real assets and were lying to.
They were downplaying,
yeah.
Because
that's the only thing that makes sense.
But that's never explained in the show because that would involve actually explaining shit or thinking about things.
There was like one throwaway line later on about somebody questioning the head of the Zaibatsu, like how the fuck does a guy that somehow runs the Zaibatsu out of a fucking second-rate shoe store have any sway whatsoever? And it turns out he has other ways. But yeah, at the same time we get introduced to Cheetah, who is part of another Zaibatsu. but becomes kind of frenemies with Hitomi.
Yes.
Yep.
Like, nothing personal against her, but they're rivals, so...
They're total best drugs that are going to kill each other, is what it boils down to.
Yeah. With stupidity and panty stealing and...
It's just dumb.
Yeah. At the same time, they drop Bear and Gorilla, but they don't... Well, actually, no, they drop Bear, but they don't show us it's Gorilla. And from that point onwards, there's also... Yeah, they recruit Inaba. We get introduced to the Lizard Clan, which I forget which Sugimoto, I think it is.
Sure.
They're basically specialized in lizards and reptiles, and they hire assassins, basically horned lizard hybrids, which shoot blood out of their eyes. Because it is the thing that they do. That's one thing that the show does. It tries, very loosely, to rationalize the abilities and powers that these therianthropes have.
The invulnerable pangolin.
That would be the one of the big issue ones, yes.
They do over, like apparently the honey badger's hide is so tough that no weapon in nature can penetrate it.
Horseshit, but whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently that translates to, in horned lizard therianthropes, it translates to literal eye beams.
Yeah. Okay, sure, whatever, fine.
Fine.
It's a superpower loosely based on the animal's ability. Okay, sure.
That doesn't bug me as much. I'm like that in any other show I would call bullshit, but given the quality already established in this show, yeah. There are other things to be upset about.
Admittedly, the show does at least move at a fair pace. So
I will grant that.
By episode 4...
It flows. It goes from episode to episode very quickly.
As we get to episode 4, they're already basically getting to the point where they're being rounded up. All the different Zaibatsus are gathering on this huge luxury liner, heading out to Island X, or whatever it's called, where the actual, it's kind of Hunger Games style. They go out to where the actual Killing Bites tournament's going to be held, which they refer to as this fucking ridiculous name called the Destroyal.
Oh, right. I forgot the name of the tournament was the Destroyal.
Which is just some fucking... Some guy wanted to... Yeah, it's a battle royale with Destroy in it.
But so it also vaguely sounds like Destroy All.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's about what they passes for cleverness in the show, okay?
Yeah. They dump everyone at different points on the island, and they go in how the sponsors are extremely necessary because they need to roll dice and guide their playing pieces around the board. There's all kinds of nonsense just brought in to actually give these extra characters something to do. When I think if they'd have just concentrated on the actual, pick a story. Do you want to tell the mafia, Japanese mafia Zaibatsu story? Or do you want to tell the story of therianthropes kicking the shit out of each other? And instead they tried to do both at the same time in a 12-episode show.
Yeah, and you could still do both at the same time in a 12-episode show if you knew how to write.
Sure. It's not hard to do that sort of thing, but it's requires a modicum of talent and planning.
The only character we've skipped over at this point is what was her name? Yoko Mitsukado, I think.
Yes.
So she's the granddaughter of one of the heads of the Zaibatsus, the Mitsukado Zaibatsu.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her.
The only reason I bring her up here is because she has shown up previously in the show trying to convince Nomoto to back down and not enter the Killing Bites tournament. To which Nomoto responds, absolutely, as you'd expect. Hitomi wouldn't like me to do that. I'll go with whatever she says. Because, of course, he has no spine.
Well, to be fair, I will grant him his reasoning is actually sound, in that if he told her that they weren't going to, she'd probably kill him.
There is that too.
I mean, I will. He is not making. He is. Yeah. Honestly, in his position, it's like, yeah. Hitomi is a murder machine, and we have seen no on-screen evidence to show us that she wouldn't do that. She wants to enter the Destroyal to fight and kick everyone else's asses and basically murder them all because she likes fighting and killing the people.
But we then get them all sat around this table, which is like a big map of the island they're on and controlling things, and Yoko ends up sat next to Nomoto and at length just derides him and takes the piss out of him and just basically, he's beneath her, yet apparently she has massive interest in him because she just wants to talk shit at him all day. You get the other heads of the Zaibatsus, you get the other underlings, the ones that are controlling. And the only interesting character the two interesting characters around the table is there's a woman who's constantly got her face hidden behind a fan, who is the wife of the head of the Zaibatsu, who is directly controlling Mr. Okajima.
Yep.
And also the announcer, the commentator on the
she does the hype. She's the hype man, play-by-play.
She's the hype. Yeah.
She's
Pretty awesome.
But she's one of the few entertaining things in that room.
Yes.
And I can't find her name.
Is it Shinozaki? It's Shinozaki, isn't it?
I think so.
Its name. That sounds right. It's Shinozaki.
Mai Shinozaki. Yeah, Mai Shinozaki.
She is occasionally entertaining because she is very energetic about her of describing what's going on.
Yeah, it's someone who is determined to be interested in something going on in this show.
Yes.
God knows she tries.
Yeah. So, we could recap all the battles, but there's really no fucking point.
The only thing I do want to point out is that it's at this point on the actual the boat.
Yeah, before the tournament starts. Yeah, we're introduced to Cobra.
We're introduced to all the members of the other team. So you've got Bear, Gorilla, and one dude named Kido, who they keep his identity secret of what he is, and they're the Mitsukado trio. You've got obviously Hitomi, Inaba, and Mr. Okajima for their Zaibatsu.
Yeah, they work for the Ishidas.
The Ishidas, the Sukumoris, what are they called? The lizards, which is Crocodile, Cobra, Fuck Him, and Gecko.
Yep.
And then you've got the fourth Zaibatsu, which is Tiger, Cheetah, and as they pop up later on, Civet.
Yes.
Now, this is the episode where Rape the Second occurs.
Yes.
Mostly because Inaba walks into the ladies' bathroom, and Cobra's in there with one of the serving girls, spaced out on the floor.
It is heavily implied that he has had his way with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he soon turns his attention on Inaba until someone points out that don't do. She's one of the competitors. You'll get thrown out if you do that shit. Not don't do that shit. It's not cool. It's like no, not that one.
Not that one, and not right now.
Yeah. The lizard team are all complete fucking assholes.
Yeah, Team Reptile sucks.
Yeah.
On to the tournament!
Yeah, fights happen. I literally, I could care. Okay, here's the biggest, honestly, the single biggest problem with this show. It is a battle series, and I did not give a fuck about any of the fights.
They're not, there's no, they're not terribly creative in the way the fights go on. There's no, the cinematography blows, the animation is mediocre at best. The actual choreography is non-existent. It's not good.
The fight at the beginning with Leo...
Yes, stuff happened to that one.
That was good, but...
It was okay.
Well, it was okay, but only because you knew damn well that was the hook. They were trying to grab people with that.
It is hands down the best actual fight in the show.
Yes.
The final battle between Hitomi and what's his face, Kido is Hitomi at times is well animated in that scene, and at least there's action in it. But it's not. But note I said
So
Hitomi.
Captain Pangolin is not well animated.
Yeah. By the way, Kido's a pangolin.
Which was a surprise.
Yes, it was, because he is presented and is in virtually every way the single most invulnerable and powerful, in terms of raw power person in the tournament. The dude is a pangolin.
Yeah. Gorilla, who they go to great lengths to say can punch with the force of a ton, hits him square in the nose. Doesn't flinch.
Nope.
Just
he totally no-sells it.
Yeah. He kills Crocodile by punching him through the face. And I mean, through the face.
Goes right through his head.
Yeah. He bisects Gorilla.
Yeah.
With his bare... Oh, we mentioned, he hasn't transformed at this point.
Nope.
Here's the thing. These all sound like awesome kills until you see them actually done.
They're not really. They just sort of happen quickly and it's done.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose an effort could be made to do the whole the whole pornography of violence thing, like say in Texas Chainsaw Massacre and other works. But yeah, it's not the case here.
See, the thing is, I can. There's one other thing as well that I can understand. Okay, when you give the powers of an animal to an actual person, especially if it's a huge hulking dude like Kido is, I can understand how that can translate. But then in the same show, you've got people like Inaba, who is a rabbit, and she is a rabbit. She's a big, intelligent rabbit. That is it. She doesn't do anything that a rabbit doesn't. She's not a human with rabbit powers. She's a rabbit. There's a couple of cool ideas in here. Like, again, we do have a couple of characters like Gecko, who fights mostly... she does the whole, bikini, lizard bikini kind of thing. But she does actually eventually go into a full Gecko form, which is cool.
Yep. And I will grant, she actually she combines not super amazing powers from being Gecko, other than my grip is incredible, with significant martial arts skills to make herself very dangerous.
Yes.
Tactics, I guess.
Sort of. It's about as close as most of them come to it in the show.
Yeah, she's the most tactical. She's the greatest tactical thinker amongst all of them.
Pretty much. Cobra, for some reason, apparently also has constrictor powers because, Snake.
He gets generic Snake. He is a Cobra, but he is generic Snake of genericness.
Because he does a lot of constricting stuff. They basically trap both Cheetah and Hitomi away in a part of the island where there aren't any cameras, apparently, because we're doing this big tournament to film all these fights, and there's a part of the island where we don't have cameras set up because apparently the Zaibatsus are morons.
I think it was more of I think this was the writers trying to say, hey, look how clever we are. We're going to not just have, oh my god, everyone can see this for no reason with no cameras. We're going to have a whole camera crew have to be deployed.
But why would you have an area on the island where you're holding this tournament that's in the playfield that you don't have cameras at? That's stupid!
Yes! Especially when it's an area that is like a campsite that has buildings where you could mount cameras.
Oh my god, this show is dumb!
Yeah.
And I'd call this nitpicky stuff if it wasn't just indicative of the hunt. Just one or two of these things would be nitpicky. But it's all the time. In every episode.
We're harping on these things as ways to illustrate how the show is dumb and lazy. The reason there are no cameras are here is so that there's a place where the Ishida team can have an ambush and do things that they're not supposed to do, like Cobra trying to rape people, rape
Yeah,
women.
he tries to straight out rape Hitomi.
And Cheetah.
She tries. Sorry, there's 5 rape scenes, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, he never gets very far with Cheetah.
Because Hitomi shows up to stop him.
Yeah, he talks a big game there, and then Hitomi shows up and beats him up, and then he's all like, "Aha! Now I use my cloud of venom power to weaken you, so that I can expose my snake dick for the rape." And then she gelds him, and it's hilarious. She does. She gelds him. It's hilarious.
Prepare, you will see snake penis.
Which is just oh my god. Anyways.
Yeah. The biggest, there's just to cover this because we did say it earlier. The one beast that does transform and of the dudes that isn't full beast is Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got this whole fucking warrior thing going on. Therefore, he's still proud human warrior.
He's also very much built up to be like the biggest, most kick-ass badass out there forever, and nothing could beat him. Ha ha ha.
Well, basically, the 2 biggest badasses, other than Kido, are Tiger. Oh, and sorry, of the previous term were Tiger and Leo.
Yes.
Right. Leo's in recovery after getting his ass kicked by Hitomi.
And Tiger refuses to acknowledge that she was capable of doing this. Leo must have just underestimated her and let her get it. She took advantage. And was therefore
or he let her win for pity's sake, or
to avoid having to fight, or something.
Tiger has a huge fucking boner for Leo.
Yes, he does.
It's not even subtle.
Leo's the only person he respects, basically.
Yeah.
As a fighter, he's that sort of character. And in another show there could have been some like. There are moments when both Leo and Tiger have moments of actual personality. It's not original personality, but it's personality. There's a flashback to the scene of them confronting each other on the roof of the high school of a high school, and Leo, who's already a Therianthrope, basically tells Tiger, "Yeah, I'm actually impressed with your guts and determination, but you can't know, and I'm not interested in fighting someone who can't even remotely provide a challenge to me." So,
and he even lets Tiger punch him square in the face. It doesn't flinch.
Right. And he doesn't basically, yeah, dude. If you ever become a Therianthrope and you get the power to back up your guts, sure, you're someone who would interest me. Once you have actual power. Yeah.
Now, the single biggest crime in this entire show, at least on the island, is how much fucking Hippo gets dicked over in this show.
Yeah.
Clearly, whoever wrote this show has never read a biology book, because hippos are fucking murder beasts. And he spends the entire show being a
punching bag.
Beat down, a punching bag, a beat stick. We're still not even sure if he survived.
Narrator. You spent a lot of it just watching another fight narrating for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
After having got his ass kicked for a bit.
The thing is, think about it. We're still not sure if he survived.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Tiger.
No clue.
Oh yeah. Isn't there like a throwaway line as they'll all survive? There
was a line that Cheetah said she's got to get Tiger back to the hospital for treatment because he's still currently alive, and it looked very much like the Tiger took a much more serious wound from Pangolin's tail than Hippo did.
Yeah.
Right.
So my gut feeling is Hippo's alive, but
this is the thing, okay, with this show. It does not give a shit about its male characters.
No, not even the most it cares about are literally Tiger and Leo.
Yeah, and the only reason it cares about the female characters is TNA. The intro and the outro has Rabbit, Cheetah, and Hitomi all dressed up in like fucking lingerie and shit. Mm-hmm. They never really interact in any way like this.
Nope.
But they're in that, and then the outro is them and all the other female characters in various states of undress, because of course.
Yep.
Well, the show knows what it is.
Civet is there only because, for one reason, apparently, in nature, the civet's natural scent is a natural pheromone that can affect other species.
At least that's that's the stated thing. Apparently, according to them, Cleopatra used the civet musk as an aphrodisiac at some point.
Yeah. Basically, anyone that gets caught near her turns into fucking horny sex beasts.
So this is so we can have a scene of Hitomi and Cheetah making out.
Basically,
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Being forced to make out because because of
drugs.
The only good part about that scene, and I use the good, with a huge pinch of salt, is that we do at least get some kind of character out of the table, the Zaibatsus. Because Yoko literally at that point just stands up and says, "What the fuck are we watching here? Why the fuck are you shitting all over this contest?"
And to be fair, I don't disagree. There's a lot about like as much of a bitchy character she is. Overall, I actually agree with 99% of what she says throughout the show.
Yeah.
She is completely right. Like, everything she's... Like, her motivations are by and far the best of anybody in the tournament.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, she's just an arrogant, she's an
She's
arrogant
just a horrible,
princess.
horrible bitch.
She's arrogant
like I say... Go on.
I'm not even sure... Yeah, she's bitchy to Nomoto, but honestly, she's so not wrong about him.
No.
Yeah.
Like, she talks down to him, but honestly, why wouldn't she? Thinking about it in retrospect.
Yeah, the only other person around that table I have any liking for is the fan lady, whose name I forget again.
Meh.
That's because she's only got 3 lines.
She has, but at the very least, she only has 3 lines, but she's actually well written for that point. She has a
comparison.
I wouldn't go that far. She's well written in response to the show.
She has a clear, defined nature, and her reactions, her actions, and her her general presence on the show doesn't contradict those.
Sure. No, I agree with that. No, in comparison to virtually everybody else in the show, she's fairly well written.
Yeah.
There's a flashback where she approaches Mr.
She approaches Okajima, yeah.
Okajima, and basically says to him, as part of the Zaibatsu, I need to know how important this, winning is to you. Would you lay down your life for us? And Okajima's like, oh, absolutely. I mean, I can't pay you back for all the help and trust you've placed in me and my family. I would lay down my life to win. And she says, no, that's not good enough. I was like, what? Yeah. I don't want you to go out and die. The lives of every therianthrope or every person is important. We're investing in you as people, not just this silly tournament.
Yeah, she makes a point. It's like, we've invested a great deal of money into you. We want to see a return on that investment, which means you not dying.
Yeah, she's the value of life kind of character, and she spends the entire show watching the other people around the table, specifically Nomoto, realizing that although he's a fucking putz and has no agency of his own, he is at least approaching it from that angle. Everyone else around the table are jaded. The therianthropes are playing pieces. It doesn't matter if they die. They're just put pieces. He, at the very least, has genuine, actual care for his piece.
Yep.
And she instantly connects and respects that. That's a positive, right?
Yeah,
sure. She's one of the only characters I would actually call a character.
Yes.
And she's a minor side character.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly just they don't have time to ruin her.
That's no small part of it, I think.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah. Obviously, the big thing, basically, there are three big confrontations that happen at the end. Tiger and Hitomi face off. Tiger basically kicks her ass, but she earns his respect during the fight. And just before they're about to come to another final clash, Kido shows up and attacks Hitomi, during the fight and effectively takes her out for a bit. So then we have a squaring off between Tiger and Kido, i.e. Pangolin. And Kido kicks Tiger's sorry ass.
Yeah. Doesn't just kick his ass, he takes his arm.
Yeah, he takes his arm off and runs his tail through his gut. Hitomi gets back up, reveals her true form, because she has a true form that she's not been using.
Even my final form.
This show is guilty of... there's a lot of stuff that they put into this show and put in at the wrong fucking point.
Mm-hmm.
They could have been building up so much. They should have built this show up by another 2 episodes or so and moved all these fucking flashbacks into the actual show. Show us the connection that is growing between these characters before you just throw this in, leaving us uninterested and uncaring, and then telling us why we should care.
We are led to
just
believe...
cut the rape scenes. That would have been plenty of time.
That would have helped too. But we're led to believe that Hitomi and Nomoto have developed something of a working relationship, and there's some fondness between them. There's no on-screen evidence of that growth happening. It's just that we go from her being kind of abusive to him and having nothing but contempt and disdain for him, to there being a working relationship and some affection between them.
Yeah, them more or less being as much as Hitomi can be friends with anyone.
Right. But there's no evidence of that actually, why that would happen. And except we have a brief flashback with a little bit of them working together for him to learn her signals, because he has no idea how to do this tournament, and he's just going to follow her lead. She'll do hand gesture signals to what she wants to do, and he'll do that. Because, again, Nomoto has no agency and is a moron and is...
not a good character.
He's not a character.
He's not good or a character.
He's this, So at any rate, and this is endemic of every relationship in the show.
Mm-hmm. Everything is done through flashbacks. The whole thing between Tiger and Leo, other than a brief conversation, I think Tiger mentions Leo in every single episode he's in, except that other than a brief conversation on the boat, we never see them together.
Nope.
And other than that flashback.
Yes.
And the only reason I bring this up is because I have to give them at least some credit, because there is a flashback here at this point, which this is how you do it. You've revealed something, and then there's the flashback.
Yep.
This was an actual twist that was... well, not twist, but... it was a reveal that was pulled off well, because it flashes back to why Hitomi has this hero worship for Shido.
Yep.
And it's the whole story how Hitomi isn't a therianthrope by experimentation and surgery.
No, she's just a mutant, apparently.
Yeah. She's what they refer to as an origin beast. She was born that way.
She's a mutant.
Yeah. Apparently. And it basically means she gets furrier. She turns into a Super Saiyan.
Mind you, her transformed character model is much less stupid looking.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, I do prefer the full version rather than
it looks better. And she has a big fight with Pangolin, where she does lose her arm and eventually uses it as a projectile against him, which is hilarious.
Which is awesome. Yes.
And then
one shining moment. I will kill you with my own severed limb.
Yeah, and she punches his brains out through his mouth to win the fight.
Yes.
At which point she basically passes out. He gets back up somehow because pangolin.
Literally shows his brains leaking out the back of his head.
Yeah, and then Cheetah cuts his throat. And he dies.
Which I'm not sure why she didn't do that 5 million times before, because she's supposedly this fucking fast.
Whatever. But this leads to the fact that Cheetah's like the last one standing, except that Rabbit's still standing. Cheetah basically chases after Rabbit for a while, and Rabbit literally trips over a rock and kicks Cheetah in the chin, knocking her out, leading to her win. This actually happened.
Yep.
And they tried to justify it. They tried to justify it that rabbits do somersault kicks. Yes, they do, but not like that.
No, she literally just got lucky.
Like it would be. Of course, it's a smart thing to do to use your super strong bunny legs in a kick. Of course, they're going to use a somersault kick in it if you're an all martial artist. Bunny's not a martial artist.
She's not. She's literally referred to throughout the entire tournament as a non-combatant. She spends her time digging tunnels and passing messages and pulling Hippo out of dangerous situations.
I will say, the deadfall trap she actually dropped Civet into is hilarious.
Yes. That was good. She does actually take out Civet.
Yeah.
She builds a pitfall trap.
And literally, that was one of the few times she did something intentionally. Well done, Rabbit.
Yes. Yes, well done, Rabbit.
So yeah, then they have the big reveal of now the Ishida team has won the Destroy All, and now they're in charge, and it's actually a coalition with other people and Shido, and they're going to release the Therianthrope thing as an actual thing for everybody to use, to advance humanity. Which, okay, sure, that's another story that they could have done more effort to talk about and advance and do things with. Apparently that's in season 2, or the continuation in the manga, if this gets a second season.
Dear God, I hope this doesn't get a second season. There are better, more deserving shows. Looking at Game of Life.
Different studio. And yeah, oh right. So yeah, that's basically where the tournament ends. We flash forward a little bit of time. Nomoto's back in school. He's got 3 briefcases full of...
The couple of bits we have kind of skimmed over there.
Whatever. Who cares?
There is a little bit of cleaning up because for whatever reasons there's politicking, and the lizard team that got taken out nice and quick, they decide, you know what, fuck this shit, we've got... And we did mention them earlier, so I want to bring them up.
the Chameleon Assassins, yeah.
They've got the Chameleon Assassins who go after and try and take everyone out.
Yes, and they're doing quite well until Shinozaki kicks their asses.
Because Shinazaki's fucking
She's
awesome.
awesome.
Right, yeah, the big confrontation...
shallow and two-dimensional, but that's one more dimension than most of the other characters.
Yes. And then we cut back, and the whole coup's been done, and what's his face? Mikazaki, or whatever his name is. Mitsukado, the head of the Zaibatsu, basically turns around and says, oh, well, this is all very well nice, but you know what? I'm actually part of the most powerful Zaibatsu, so fuck you all, the deal's off. At which point, Leo kills him.
Yep.
Who, Leo was he was Leo's boss. And they go to the nature thing, saying young lions will often kill the lead male so they can take over the pride.
Okay, sure, whatever.
Right, yeah. You didn't have to include the bit where they then take over the pride's females by raping Yoko.
Yeah.
There's the 5th one.
Yep.
Yeah.
After she walks in and sees her beloved grandfather, whom she was trying to save from the terrible influences of Shido by winning the tournament, murdered by Leo, who up until this point had been nothing but deferential and, basically her right hand.
I gotta love he just suddenly died of heart failure. He was clearly murdered right there of heart failure.
His heart did fail.
Yes.
Leo did punch through his chest through his heart. His heart did fail. Technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. Yeah. So, yeah, Nomoto goes back to school. He's got his winnings, which is like 3 briefcases full of 100 million yen each, but which he's afraid to open for reasons. And he hasn't heard from Hitomi since.
Milk Toast twat waffle.
Yes. He hasn't heard from Hitomi since the tournament, but then she calls him and wants to meet up at the junkyard. They talk for a bit. He basically says that, she inspired him to, actually develop something resembling a little bit of a spine.
And she's like, yeah, you sort of became my friend, and, that's cool. I never really had a friend before. By the way, murder.
At which point she guts him.
Yeah.
Leaving them lying there in a giant pool of blood dying. Because Shido told her to kill him because Nomoto might cause them problems in the future. I can't imagine what these problems would be.
Also, why bother giving him 300 million yen if you're going to do that a couple of weeks later? This dude would have taken a fucking ham sandwich and bus fare home and not complained.
Yeah. I literally have... There is literally no chance of him ever being a threat in any way, shape, or form. This was done entirely to have a big twist. Literally, yes. There is no good reason for this.
It was a downer ending to set up sequel bait.
Yes. Because we have a flash forward to after the Therianthrope technology has been released to humanity at large. There's a big sort of area near Tokyo where a bunch of Therianthropes live. And the Killing Bites tournament has continued and is a big drawing point of this place. And we have a bunch of people showing up to enter the tournament, including Nomoto, who's apparently now a Therianthrope. And
not 30 seconds after we've just seen him die, we get introduced to a couple of other characters saying, I'm going to be the champion of Killing Bites, blah, blah, blah. And we see one dude in the shadow pull his hood back, and it's Nomoto, and he's like, oh, and now we'll see what friendship's truly about. Hitomi. Oh, God.
I honestly did not even realize it was Nomoto until you told me.
Is it going to be that fucking obvious?
Yes.
I'd honestly just sort of, to be fair, I'd honestly sort of checked out. Like,
I don't blame you.
Literally, the only fucking thing that I am interested in seeing is what the hell they decide to turn him into. Because at the very least, it won't be obvious.
I would be mildly amused to hear what it is, but I have literally zero intention of watching the next... if they do another season, I have no intention of watching it. I have literally zero chance of actually reading the manga.
Peter.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you had any interest beforehand, but I can give you one phrase that will guarantee that you will not watch this. And I've been told about this by somebody trying to convince me that this is a good thing. There is a hyena girl in the next series.
Okay.
Let's just say they had to cover it as a lightsaber.
Right. Because that will be handled
not wrong, because female hyenas are, but oh man, that's so.
I'm sure that will be treated with dignity and respect.
Absolutely.
Oh my God! In the hands of a better studio, that could be hilarious.
In the hands of someone who actually knows how to write, that that could be interesting. But no.
Apparently, I'm looking on Wiki now. Apparently, the main character of the second season, or at least so far in the manga, is a beagle.
Yes.
Because they're death machines.
Watch out! I'm a sea cucumber. I'll vomit my guts on you.
Anyways, we also didn't touch on my biggest pet peeve of the show.
Okay.
Goddamn Hitomi's goddamn catchphrase that she has every goddamn episode. Jesus fucking Christ.
How will we know what Killing Bites is?
Oh God. Every episode has the same goddamn catchphrase, and it's a stupid catchphrase.
And it's awkwardly jammed in there as well.
To be fair, it's better than Believe It.
No, it's not. Also, that's a mistranslation.
I don't care.
That's a bad translation. It's still
Believe
better.
it.
Naruto is better than this by leaps and bounds, Eric.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not a fan of Naruto, but Jesus fucking. So yeah, Killing Bites. It happened. I guess we'll go into final thoughts because I can't talk about the show that much longer. Is there any, I'd be. So, Gav, you get to finish things up since it was your recommendation, the way we always do it.
Okay.
I'll start, then Eric, then Gav.
Actually, I would like to point out one more positive before we do go on.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
The titles of the episodes are at least entertaining.
Yeah, they are actually. Yes.
Yes. My favorite episode title is shit. Shit.
Yes.
Shit. Ellipses. Shit 5 more times, 1 word.
It's just some of the episodes actually have good. Some of the episode titles are actually pretty good. I will actually agree with that. But yeah, yeah. For most of the show, when I was watching this, I was merely uninterested. I thought it was mediocre, lame, had some objectionable bits. But honestly, I've been thinking, yeah, I've seen worse, and I have. I will still say there is worse out there. This is not as, from an objective quality standpoint, this is still not quite as bad as Glass Fleet, which is still probably the worst show I've watched all the way through. But this, the final episode basically just completely cemented my opinion. This is it's garbage. It's not even like fun trash. It's just garbage. It's not good. It has so few redeeming qualities. It has no real characters. And okay, it's a battle series where the fights aren't interesting, engaging, well choreographed. There's nothing good about the fights. So there's literally all you have to that you have in the show is that I can comprehend being a draw is TNA and some attractive female characters and attractive male characters. Fit just in terms of the way they're drawn. I'm not talking about as actual character personalities, because the closest thing we have to someone who's an interesting character personality who has a significant screen time is Satomi, and she's a bunch of attributes that aren't actually connected, and there's no actual character there. And it's not even like they're doing interesting, like she's a broken character and they're doing something interesting with that. No, it's the show is I will say this simply. I can understand that this is a show some people might enjoy. I cannot comprehend why, however. But if it's your cup of tea, fine. But I cannot recommend this show to anyone. I can't think of a reason why I cannot recommend the show to, there are better battle series, there are better ecchi series, there are better, better series that cover sort of, altering humanity. Everything that this show does, there's another show that does it better. Mm. If all you want to do is look at hot chicks, there are better shows for that. I got nothing.
We've done Keijo, and Peter didn't hate it as much as this.
Oh god, Keijo is much more fun. Keijo's at least funny and occasionally fun. Keijo has the Gates of Booty Lawn, which is at least Keijo is absurd. And it has the coach, who's an actively good character. Mm. This
and
show
an
is
just arc and people with agency. And
the show is just bad. That's all I can say. Anyways, Eric, your turn.
All right. So, outside of 1 or 2 outliers, the animation is mediocre at best. There's worse stuff out there. There's better stuff out there. It's quite happy to sit right in the mode for animation. The character designs are Yeah, that's pretty much my entire thing for this show is, until I get to the last episode, it's like, oh, great, now I actively hate everyone. Well done. Hitomi should be, one of my favorite characters. She's no nonsense. She's tough. She's has a few quirks that seem, but everything is just sort of bolted on with no underlying framework, no connective tissue, nothing that to make her feel like a person. It's like trying to compare to Ryoko from Kill la Kill. I'm totally butchering her name. It doesn't matter. You know who I'm talking about.
Ryoko, yeah.
It's like, that's a character I really love. She's awesome. She shares a lot of the same attributes as Hitomi. But she's a character. Hitomi is a Frankenstein's monster with no stitching. Like, okay, cool. Hey, the girls are hot. Cool. I have the internet, guys. That's hardly a draw.
Yeah.
Though, to be fair, no one has completely improbable grotesqueries for tits. They are just merely double D. Yeah, it really loves its rape. Which is just not cool.
No.
Like,
it's awful.
It's
5 times.
Yeah, that's just not. It's not cool, guys. Not cool. You really should know better.
5 times in 12 episodes.
Yeah, like it's just. Yeah, I didn't like the show. Here's the thing. I could see totally being into this as like because it's like your first foray into anime that's more than just your standard like boilerplate magical girl or shonen battle or whatever. Like, holy crap, look at this. It's got boobs and people die. Oh my god, this is great. I could totally see it being like that your jam because it's your first exposure to that. But dude, you've got the internet. There is better shit out there, even in this genre.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's shit. It's the worst show it's reviewed. It's the worst show we've done. I'm sorry, Gav.
No. To be honest, I started off being much more forgiving because I wanted to like this. I wanted to like this show. The premise had me
fighting each other in a death battle, and not just like standard like Anthem. It's like there's a hippopotamus and a porcupine and a bunny and a fucking gecko, and it's just
and a honey badger.
There's a goddamn pangolin. Oh, granted. Oh, I never touched on this. So, when 2 of the characters, Cobra, who's a horrible garbage character nobody cares about, and Pangolin, they do some terrible CG. They go all berserk 2016. And it's
because of the complexity. Again, this just
bullshit. The complexity. I watched Gunbuster. I've seen what you can do.
No. But what I was about to say though, it's part of how lazy the show is.
Yes, absolutely.
If they'd wanted to animate these characters, yeah, they could be done. You know what's easier though, with really complicated characters that are always like writhing or are covered in individual plates that need to move in a certain way? Why bother drawing them when we could just animate it once on a computer and let the computer handle all the awkward stuff?
Not even particularly well. Like,
good computer CG is hard, Eric.
Yes,
good computer CG is work.
It is very hard to do. Good computer CG is hard work, and particularly trying to integrate it into more traditional animation. It's hard. It's tough to do right. They didn't.
No, they didn't try. Years ago, they didn't try.
It's hard to do right, but it's also cheap.
It can be.
It can be.
This was fucking cheap.
Probably.
This is cheap.
But yeah, for myself, like, I wanted this to succeed. I wanted this to be good. But it is so intent on sacrificing any semblance of character or development for another Panty Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, some other... It's vapid. It's pointless. It's heartless. Every character... Like you said, Ryoko is a character in Kill la Kill.
Mm-hmm.
Hitomi feels like a template for a character. with no actual fleshing out done whatsoever.
I think you've actually hit the nail on the head for why I hate this show so much, Gav. It's heartless. It's cynical and heartless and has no core to it.
It's literally a case of we need to put a show out, here's a show.
Yeah.
The writing's predictable at times, because you can see every beat coming, and then just drops completely left field, unfathomable ideas out of nowhere, like the camera crew.
Which, it would be fine if they did anything with that.
Yeah. Like you said already, there's no connection between any of the characters. They have no motivations other than the most generic of one line, synopsis.
They like to fight.
Yeah. It just nothing delivered. It's juvenile, it's lazy, and it is a massive wasted opportunity, I think.
Yeah.
And, yeah, fucking Hippo. Hippo should have had his fight with Crocodile, should have looked at Crocodile and says, ooh, a toothpick. Crocodiles do not fuck with hippos. No one fucks with hippos.
Fucks with a hippo. Nothing fucks with a goddamn hippo.
But yeah, like I said, I've had people trying to convince me to literally the line I got was, I'm curious in your opinion, I might be able to change your mind. No. You really won't. And yeah. I apologize for nothing for inflicting this on you guys.
Oh, you shouldn't.
But I think Peter hit the nail on the head. It's not so much about. I don't doubt there is an audience for this show.
Mm-hmm.
But why?
I don't get it. I don't get what it's like.
And I do want to bring up one thing before we finish off as well. Another point you brought up when we were watching the show. If anyone says it's because Hitomi is uninteresting, or her character is cold because that's how she is, because she doesn't give any fucks. I'm sorry, that's bad writing. That the writers don't know how to portray a character that is like that without giving them any depth. And if you argue with me that, Peter brought up a great point. I will point you in the direction of My Hero Academia. Hitomi wants to be Bakugo.
Oh dear God, she wants to be Bakugo.
Oh, she really wants to be Bakugo.
Oh my God, she so wants to be oh my God.
She really, really wants to be Bakugo. But Bakugo is an interesting, complex character with a lot of different things that's informed by a backstory and his relationship with other people. Hitomi has none of that.
None.
No. She's a Frankenstein with no stitches.
Mm-hmm.
And don't say it's because it's
a rotten pile of meat.
and don't say it's because it's a short show either, because it's a small cast.
Madoka fucking Magica. There's your contrast for a short show.
And if you write well, you can be attached to a character episode fucking 1 if you know what you're doing.
Yep.
Fooly Cooley.
Yeah. 6 episodes.
6 episodes.
Gunbuster. 6 episodes.
Awesome. Yeah, Gunbuster. It's not because the show is short, guys. It's because you're shit.
But yeah, you can get invested in it. Like, people talk about the 3-episode test. And there are shows where it can take you 3 episodes to figure out what the show really is and whether you're going to like it or not. Most of the time, honestly, you can figure that out in the first episode if you're really paying attention.
Yeah.
This show didn't make it through the first episode before I realized this was not a show for me.
I really wanted to be a show for me. I really wanted to like this show.
And that's fine.
I'm with Gav on this. I really wanted to like this show. This sounded like a really rollicking fun time.
I was hoping it was going to be at least be entertaining, and it wasn't. But I will also say, like, yeah, this show, this is another, the show's also a great example of you can't live by concept alone.
No.
Yes.
Because, again, Eric is right. The concept is actually not bad. There's some really good there are a couple of really interesting ideas that you could develop into an actual really interesting show that you could do in 12 episodes.
A whole shadow war fought between, like, 4 Zaibatsus fought entirely using proxy battles with lycanthropes.
Yeah.
Come on, that sounds great. There's so many different directions you could go with that.
No fucking shit.
They just went with the least interesting one.
And, like, if you're gonna do a battle show where, you know, relationships between characters matter, you have to. You have to develop those relationships. Because that is what shonen battle shows live on.
They do. Yep. And if you're not going to do that, if you're not going to develop the relationships, then the battles have got to be fucking awesome.
Yeah. That's the thing. This show tries to live on concept alone, but it doesn't have spectacle to fall back on. It doesn't have humor. It doesn't have relationships. It doesn't have... Gav said, no fucking heart.
You know, the thing is, you know what this is you know, apart from the TNA part side of this, you know which genre this shares? Fucking One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And that's a 12-episode show as well.
And again, One Punch Man's fucking hilarious, and like the central aspect of it is the relationship between Saitama and Genos.
And the fucking heart. Fucking Kamen Rider. You care for Kamen Rider, who is a side. He's a joke in for the first chunk.
It's actually Moomin Rider. Kamen Rider is the actual like Sentai guy.
Yeah, it's because he's referred to as whatever else.
Moomin Rider.
Moomin Rider, that's him. See, I'm getting thrown off. Moomin Rider. He's as a joke for the first part. He's only shows up in about 3 episodes. You care for him more than any character in this show.
Absolutely.
Oh, God, yeah. Moomin Rider is the 3rd best character in One Punch Man. Legitimately.
Yeah.
He's a great character. Like, but at any rate, yeah. Fuck. The show's not good, people. It's not even not good. This is a bad show.
It is. It's a bad show. It's the worst movie we've reviewed. It's just
if it's your shtick, fine. I just can't see it myself.
Yeah,
dude. If it's your shtick, fine. But come on, they're better done versions of monster girls being sexy.
Sure.
Like, or monsters fighting, or even monster girls fighting. I'm sure. I just can't think of one off the top of my head.
Me neither. But like. I will say flatly, there are plenty of things that I think are objectively bad that I actually do enjoy. This is not one of them.
Yeah.
At any rate, we should. We'll keep going in circles about this if we keep talking.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to get this episode over an hour. To be honest,
we've done that already. Anyways, so that's gonna do it for this episode, folks. Next time is my next series, my choice, and I decided to continue in the sort of trashy theme that Eric and Gav had established.
I'm sorry.
Hey, you picked a good show. Gav picked a show that he wasn't sure about, and turned out not to be good. I don't fault anything in there, but I'm continuing the theme because I want to pick something that was actively fun and trashy. So, we're going with No Game, No Life next.
Fuck you, no second season.
Yeah, well, there's that issue, yes.
Prepare to hear that a lot next time.
Eric and I will both be complaining about that. So, we're doing Madhouse's No Game, No Life next. But anyways, that'll be next time, so probably a couple of weeks or so. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you guys had fun. Please don't watch the show. Watch something else. Watch the podcast. Don't watch Killing Bites.
Yeah, Killing Bites.
Jesus, there's so many better ways you can spend your time.
There are so many better shows this season that have come out than this.
God, yes.
If you're just looking for something to kill brain cells, I can recommend several liquors.
But like, if you want dumb brainless anime, there's better dumb brainless anime out there. You can find it. It's easy. Anyways, thank you guys again. We'll be back in a couple of weeks probably with No Game, No Life. Thank you for listening, guys. See you guys next time.
Bye.